Before we understand the next topic, let us understand something about atoms. This is the nucleus. We have orbits around it in which the electrons are moving around. Let us call these orbits shell. This is the first shell, so it's the K shell. Next is the L shell. Next we have the M shell and so on, KLMN. How many electrons can the K shell hold? How many electrons can the N shell hold? This is given by a general formula. Maximum number of electrons in a shell is given by 2 into n square. It's given by 2 into n square. Now, the square is only for n. Please remember, it's not for 2 also. You can write it simply as n square. So, how many electrons can K hold? First shell, value of n is 1. 2 into 1 square, 2 electrons. That means there can be only 2 electrons over here. When I take n equals 2 for L shell, how many electrons for L shell? 2 into 2 square, 2 into 4, 8 electrons. This can hold 8 electrons. So we can put up to 8 electrons. Just because it's 8 electrons does not mean 8 electrons are there. It means the maximum it can hold is 8 electrons. Now, coming to the next part, so it goes on, the value of n keeps increasing as you go to the outer shells. Now, how this formula came, you will only learn it in higher classes. We don't have the details of it. But now when you go to the M shell, you will actually expect immediately first electrons will go and sit on M shell. 2 into 3 square, 2 into 9, which is 18. You expect M shell to hold 18. You expect the electrons to go and sit in M first. But that does not happen. When electronic configuration works, it is given in this form. First, the first shell that fills is 2. After 2 electrons fill inside, 8 gets filled in the next shell. In the next shell, again 8 will get filled. Now in the next shell, you have 18. How 18? 2 into 3 square, you expected 18 for this. But that is not happening. Then you get 32. Why? The reason for this happening, you will again learn it only in the higher classes. It is very complicated. All you need to remember is, if there is electrons filling in the shell, suppose let us say I have 22 electrons. How do I fill it? You have K, L, M and so on. 1, 2, 3, fourth shell. First 2 will go and sit here. Now I have 20 left. Out of the 20 electrons, 8 will go and sit here. Next, how much do I have? 12 left. M shell can hold 18. M shell can hold 18, but will all 18 go there? No, only 8 will go. Only 8 will go. So see, 2, 8, 8, 2, 18 electrons are already over. You have 4 more. The 4 more will go and sit here. Now the question is, why didn't all the 12 electrons go here? That is a very complicated reason that you will learn in higher classes. So for now, all you need to remember in this chapter is, the maximum number of electrons that can sit in a shell is 2n square, where n is a shell number. Point number 1. Point number 2, in this chapter we learn that electrons that fill in this order, first shell 2, second shell 8, 8, 18, 18, 32, 32. 7 shells, they fill in this order. Why not 18 here? That you will not learn now. So 2 points, 2n square, and this is the order of filling. Okay. So according to what we just learned was, the first shell can hold 2 electrons, 8, 8, 18, 18 and so on. It's not about it holding, it can hold more, third shell can hold more, but for now we learned that you have to fill it in this order only, 2, 8, 8, 18, 18 and so on. So coming to the atomic number, you have to learn the first 20 elements by heart. Atomic number I already taught you. What you write here Z is called the atomic number, here it's atomic mass number. Z is nothing but the number of protons or number of electrons. So first element, first is the atomic number, element name or symbol and electronic configuration. What is electronic configuration? How you fill the shells, that is called electronic configuration. First one, hydrogen. Hydrogen, you can see atomic number is 1. I have only 1 electron, it will go and sit in the first shell. I have 2 electrons, first shell can hold up to 2, sit. Next, lithium, 3, first shell can hold only 2, can't hold one more. What will you do with it? Put it in the next shell. 4, beryllium, can hold 2, another 2 goes to the next shell. Boron, 5, hold 2, remaining 3 goes and sits in the next shell. Why it sits in the next shell? Because next shell can hold up to 8 right now. So carbon 2, 4, nitrogen 7, 2, 5, oxygen 8, 2, 6, fluorine 9, 2, 7, neon 10, 2, 8. Maximum capacity over. Now next, sodium 2, 9. Is it possible? No, because L right now can hold only 8. So it's 8. The remaining one goes to the next shell. Now magnesium 12, 2, 8, remaining 2 next shell. Similarly, aluminium 13, 2, 8, 3, silicon 14, 2, 8, 4. Coming to phosphorus, phosphorus has 15, 2, 8, 5. Sulfur 16, 2, 8, 6. Chlorine 17, 2, 8, 7. Argon 18, 2, 8, 8. Filled. It is filled. Potassium 2, 8, 9. Possible? No, wrong, because it can hold only 8 right now. So it's 8 and goes to 1. Calcium 2, 8, 8. Remaining 2 goes to next shell. Please follow this order. This is the maximum capacity for now that the shell can hold. Now, I told you something about inert. What is inert element? An element that is completely stable. When is an element completely stable? When its shell is completely filled. When it has enough electrons, maximum electrons, it is stable. Only when your stomach is full, you are satisfied. Only when the shells are full, it is satisfied. If it is less, no, I want more food. If it's too much, you feel uneasy. So both the ways, not advantageous. So you have to just be correctly full. This will tell you when it is correctly full. We already have few elements that are full. For example, this is maximum capacity 2. It is filled. Even this is filled, no, why is it not stable? First shell filled, but second shell you are put 1, it's incomplete now. Here second shell is empty, no, then why is it not unstable? Why? So it can be 0 electrons, no problem. 0 electrons also stable. But this is 2, 0, no problem. 2, 1, problem. So either maximum or 0. 2, 8, 8, 18, 18, satisfied. 200 satisfied, 2800 satisfied. So the next combination that you find where it is completely stable is neon. After neon, we find that 288 argon. These are three examples of noble gases, three examples of inert elements, three examples of inert gases. There are more examples among what you have to by heart among the 20. These are the three examples where your elements are inert. Now let us understand something about valency. What is valency? Valency is the number of electrons that that atom gives away or takes to become completely filled, or to become stable, or to become inert. So valency is the number of electrons that the atom gives away or takes to become completely filled, stable or inert. What does that mean? Hydrogen is showing different properties. It can lose one or gain one. Why? If it loses one, 0, stable. If it gains one, 2, again filled, stable. Hydrogen shows mixed properties, so we won't discuss hydrogen in detail. Starting from lithium, it has one electron. It has one electron. Now, it has two options. It can either give away this one electron, become stable, or take another 7 electrons and become stable. Which is better? To give away that electron or to take an electron? See, if it gives away, it has to just give 1. If it takes, it has to take 7 to become 8. It has to take 7. So which is better? It is better to give away that electron, which is why lithium easily gives away the electron and becomes Li plus, or you can say the valency is +1. How +1? It gives away one electrons and becomes +1. That is why the valency is +1. Next, beryllium 2,2. Maximum capacity of second shell is 8. So it has two options. Either take 6 electrons and become 8, or give away your 2 electrons. Which is better? To give away the 2. So it gives away 2, it becomes positive because it has more positive. So it's now +2. Similarly, boron +3. Carbon has 4. It can either give 4 or take 4. Both are same. No advantage anywhere. Both are equal. So we will not be able to decide what to do with carbon now. You will learn this in a separate chapter called carbon and its compounds. We will leave carbon here. Now go to nitrogen. 5. When you see nitrogen, nitrogen has 5 electrons in the second shell. It becomes stable by getting 8, which means he wants 3 more electrons and he is stable. Or what's my next option? Give away all the 5 electrons. Is it easier to give 5 or take 3? Give 5 or take 3? Smaller number always, take 3. So it takes 3 electrons. Nitrogen is stable. You're putting 1 electron, it became extra negative. 1 more electron, extra negative. 1 more electron, extra negative. So what happened to the charge? -3. -3. Next, coming to oxygen, has 6. It can either give 6 electrons or take 2 electrons. Give 6 or take 2. Which is better? Take 2. So it takes 2, becomes -2. Fluorine, give 7 or take 1. Give 7 or take 1. Take 1 is easier. So -1. The valency, what I have written in circle is the valency of that. So sodium, magnesium, aluminum, so on. You can just see how we have done this. So it has 1, so it's easier. What can we understand by this? If the number is less than 4, the last shell electrons are called valence electrons. So if the number of valence electrons are less than 4, it gives away. If the number of electrons are more than 4, then it takes. So now Can we be quick and decide what happens here? This will give away plus and become plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. 4 for now we will ignore. Coming to this, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. Already stable, does not give, does not take. 1, give away 1 becomes plus, plus 1. Gives away 2 becomes plus, plus 2. So whatever is written in circle is the valency. I hope you understood what is the meaning of valence electrons and valency.